Hi, this is the part two. Okay, so let's not forget that the fourth house is our homeland. What planet in this chart rules the fourth where Venus sits? Mars rules the fourth house, and it is in its detriment in Libra and retrograde. Mars is in the ninth, the legal house, but the ninth is also a foreign land. Mars is weak when retrograde and in detriment. The ninth house is also the Supreme Court where our philosophical values are encased. Are American lands or homes owned by others or non-Americans? What sign rules war? The sign of Libra rules war. And Mars, yes, is a planet. There's a difference now, planet and sign. So Mars rules war as a planet, which is in Libra. The lands are under contract and now via compass, or the burning way. So Mars square Jupiter exalted in the seventh house. They are in a mutual square and they are trying to avoid each other going to war. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer of homes, food, and liquids. The seventh house is the public as well as partners and open enemies. So the moon rules the seventh house and is in the second house conjuncting the sun. Now, it's going to get out of there as it progresses. I'm talking about the sun. Well, I'm sorry, the moon, but the sun has already made its move out of the second house. The progressed moon is in Pisces. Pisces is secrecy and spies or even cyber insurgency. However, the moon is waning and about to conjunct the sun, now progressed into Pisces. So the sun rules publicly managed money or other people's money because Leo is on the eighth cusp. The new moon will happen in the third house, which are languages or language, communication, transportation, learning, neighbors, and borders. They, the sun and the moon, will then oppose Neptune in the ninth house. However, Neptune is the dispositor of the sun and the moon and is also highly elevated over the luminaries. Therefore, it is innocuous. Nobody wants to go to war. That is what this is about. What does it all mean? America wants investments. What do you need for that? No border. But that will change eventually. So why? But I mean, not in the near future. So why? Pisces rules drugs and borderlessness. Borderlessness. What comes through the borders? Drugs. The ninth house also rules higher education, and the ruler of the ninth house, Mercury, is exalted in the second house of values. America's values are now placed in higher knowledge. We are going from paper money to digital, so I guess we can create money digitally. Therefore, it's not the money as we once knew. And that kind of money is Venus in Taurus, which is here to stay. Venus is in the Taurus for now and in the foreseeable future. Venus rules the house of speculation and the youth and is currently in the hard assets of the fourth house, the property, the land, shelter, or where food can be grown. If you notice, we're always concerned about interest rates because of the housing matters about the homes, the mortgage rates, which depends on the 10-year interest. I'm talking about the interest rates. And right now it is high. And we're waiting for the interest rates to fall to affect the housing market. So what do you think is going to happen when Jupiter goes into Cancer? Jupiter expands, homes, and the housing market. But let's put that aside for now. So that is where the value currently lies, in the homes. And since it rules the 10th, what does it mean? Well, the U.S. debt rating, or the credit rating, I would say, is largely based on the hard assets, the fourth house. The youth put their values in entertainment, whether it's gambling or just having fun. However, the strongest value will be advanced knowledge. This kind of knowledge is unusual knowledge that can invest or produce advanced things or services. AI certainly fits that category. These machines are smarter than humans. As you can all see from the chart, Mercury is advancing faster than Venus. Let me remind you again that Mercury and Uranus are in mutual reception. That means you can put Uranus in Aquarius and read it that way. So without getting too complicated, the value of cash or money as we are familiar with now will not be as strong. America's value system is changing as the digital mind and money take over. So the billionaires game does continue, but these are really just figures if you think about it. But what happens when Venus moves into Aries? So I will have to take that up on another video. And that's why Saturn conjunct Neptune will have to be a separate video. The 10th house is ruled by Venus, but Venus is below the horizon or low, not high up above the horizon. And it really is better when the planets are above the horizon, unless you want to hide something or you want to hide whatever it is you want to hide. The nation's value system is in the land, home, family, speculation, children, nice things, food, and consumerism. This is desired by the U.S. companies. This is why I have to get into this in another video. This is about Neptune and Saturn in Aries. With digital money, we can balance the supply with the demands on the needs of the people more easily. Sounds like a planned economy? Well, maybe, but that's what it takes to run the new economy. Let's dig deeper into the third house. What is so significantly salient about this house? It's just the Caden house, some would say. If that's so, where do we learn to grow up? You start with kindergarten, right? What do you learn in kindergarten? Read, write, and arithmetic. The sun has entered the third house. It's the house of learning, communicating, calculating, commuting, thinking, and neighboring. So we are learning to be the next generation of people. So what's on the table right now? The large language model, coding, agents, self-driving vehicles, ChatGPT, Perplexity or Gemini, and new way to wash. Now listen to this one. Look up NHK World Japan. Forget the shower. High-tech wants to change how we wash. This technology was introduced over 50 years ago, but it's now coming into being. So look how long it took. So there's a lot of inventions already out there, and the time is right, and things don't happen until it's ready to happen. So don't forget, these are new products coming into the market. Financially, Uranus rules the second, and Mercury is exalted in the second house. And best of all, the two planets are in a mutual trine. Notice also that Mercury rules the sixth house. Wow. Is this AI that's creating our wealth? Well, our healthcare, environment, work environment, and workers become our biggest asset. Finally, let's see what else the Americans are doing. The U.S. is getting older, but the older generation controls the funds and resources. That's true in most advanced countries. Pluto is in the first in Capricorn. The old is transforming into technologically renewed people. The moon has to close the chapter and enter Aries. The American workforce is changing. Why? Because Pluto is going into Aquarius, which is technologically renewed. The U.S. birth rate is declining as indicated by Saturn in Scorpio, which rules birth and death rates. That also means death rates are declining too. So when Pluto enters Aquarius, it would square Saturn and Venus. Venus in this progress chart rules the fifth house of children. Since Saturn is retrograding back into Libra, its sign of exaltation, Venus will move forward faster than Saturn and Pluto. So this shortage of kids will correct itself because the moon will enter Aries within 2 years and then in Taurus, eventually in Cancers. So first America will close in the Pisces chapter, or will close the past chapter in Pisces. So in Pisces, it is about nursing homes, cruises, easing pain from disease and addiction, and don't forget the pandemic. We had many misfortunes and scandals, but when the moon enters Aries, things will be different because there'll be a lot of cutting. We start a new cycle, a new era. Now, let me leave you with the food for your thought. Saturn is only in 2 degrees in Scorpio, so it will eventually retrograde into Libra, the sign of its exaltation. So what does that mean? Well, I will take that up in another video. It's unbelievable. If you want to buy a hard copy of this, you can go to my Etsy store. It's called Astroleap 8, or just contact me at horary25@gmail.com. So that's it for now, but look forward to my